How you doing, people? Robert here. A couple of weeks ago I did two videos relating to the entity known as DVLA. The first video was a video about when I took on the two police constables and the man that was representing the dead legal fiction DVLA. As people that watch the video understands, they never succeeded in getting the car. They couldn't take it away, and the two constables had to leave because there was nothing they can do. It's a civil matter, they had no jurisdiction. There's a couple of points I want to sweep up on for the people that watch the video. If you heard the guy, I think his name was Daniel, he says that when the DVLA attach a clamp to the car or vehicle, it's the DVLA's property. Well, the point being, I don't know if people picked up on this, it wasn't the DVLA or a man or woman called the DVLA that attached the mechanical device. It was him himself, right? Now, I've already wrote to the DVLA in 2016 challenging the name Robert of the Family Sproul. I tried to get that name put on the register keeper document and it wasn't to happen. Now, people, the DVLA is a fictitious entity. There is no man or woman called DVLA, and everything done with the DVLA and every legal part of the system is total fraud, deception. There's a case, Black v. Carmichael, 1992. And the case consists of a car that was parked in a private car park. Two men went, one attached a levy for £45 on the windscreen, and then they attached a clamp and kept the car there. They were arrested and taken to court for two charges. One was theft and extortion, and the sheriff found the two of them guilty for that under Scots law. They then asked for permission to appeal to the Court of Session, and they did. And the same ruling was made with the Court of Session. It was classed under Scots law as extortion and theft. Now, there's only two things that can be done here when it's relating to clamping cars, as we call cars or they call vehicles, is the council for fines or the police, right? Clamping is illegal or unlawful in Scotland. The DVLA is a private corporation that has no jurisdiction over the lands of Scotland. It does not own the roads. As I told the police in the video, they don't own the roads either, right? So technically, when your car's clamped, it's technically theft if they remove it, and extortion because they're demanding money, right? There is no contract with the DVLA. If you check on Dun & Bradstreet, you'll see that the DVLA is a registered corporation trading for profit. And again, there is no man or woman called DVLA, and I verify that under a charge of perjury. It's all fraud. The illusion of authority because people don't know their rights. People think they're a person and they have duties, obligations, responsibilities to a legal system, legal society, including the corporation DVLA. It's all fraud, people. The old capital name, as I keep telling you, is all fraud. Capitis diminutio. Diminish your capacity for a man or a woman, a person, a fiction, an entity, as I keep saying. Now, in 2016, people, I wrote to the DVLA. There's a letter there, I don't know if you can see it, and you'll see on the top here, Robert of the Family Sproul. This is the response I got, right? I'm going to read it out to you people, right? So you understand how the DVLA works. And listen to what I'm telling you, and pay attention to the wording. Dear Sir, vehicle registration J358 Charlie Hotel. If you remember, that was a camper my father had, God rest his soul. This is what they say in the letter, people. It may be helpful if I explain the register maintained by the DVLA, all capital letters it is, people, so it's a fiction. It's based on vehicles and their keepers. Keepers are persons, people, no man or woman. I.e. the persons, there you go, responsible for the use and licensing on a public road. The register is essentially maintained to assist in revenue collection, road safety and law enforcement, right? They can't break a law unless there's a victim of a crime, and there is never a victim of a crime, right? It is essential for these purposes that it is shown the person in possession of and responsible for the vehicle. Legal terminology, vehicle is their terminology. It's property or car in our terminology, so be clear on that. Registration certificates are issued to confirm the details of the register keeper, meaning they want to hold the man liable and the woman liable for surety for what they want to do with the rules, regulations and policies, right? But they are not certificates, legal title, proof of ownership, right? A prominent note on the certificate makes it clear that the register keeper is not necessarily the legal owner. Well, we the people, if we buy something and pay for it, we own it lawfully, not legally, right people? So there's a difference between legal and lawful, so get us into your mind, right? In fact, that a registration certificate has been issued does not affect the legal ownership of a vehicle. Well, we don't legally own it, we lawfully own it, people. And this is the legalese terminology in this document to confuse people. People don't understand that this has different meanings, and it's time to start brushing up on your communication skills. To support the DVLA adopt a policy, well, rules, regulations and policies is for the private corporation. We don't work for the private corporation, so they have no jurisdiction, and it doesn't apply to the man or woman. It applies to the person, the citizen, right? Vehicles being registered in joint names, i.e. husband, wife, brother, sister, etc. Well, you have asked to register your vehicle in the Sproul family. I am afraid that this is not acceptable, and the specific name of the individual who is responsible for the day-to-day use of the vehicle is required. That is the all capital name. Do you see that, people? I've changed the format of the name, but they're telling myself my name. I've got to go by their name, the Crown copyright name. This is a fraud, people, and people need to pay attention, right? I hope you will understand that the policy is seen as a positive method of ensuring that the data provided to the police and other enforcement agencies is accurate as possible. I await confirmation of the keeper's name and address of the details of prior to the issuing of the V5. So they're telling myself that they're not going to give me this registration document because I'm not accepting their name. Well, let me be clear, people. That isn't registered, right? That isn't in anybody's name, right? Because I've no wrote back to them for that date and changed that, but I've still got the camper and it's in my it's in property and storage, right? I've not registered that, right? And it says here, Scott Davis, Central Casework Group. There is nobody called Central Casework Group, people. It's all lies. They use fictitious offices, fictitious names to escape liability. Not one of these men or women that represent this corporation, DVLA, can come forward and make a claim and say that you owe them money for road tax, that they own your property. They cannot dispute ownership, right? And that's a fact. People have to pay attention to this, right? And waking up, it's wrong, right? Now, it says here, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, Swansea, SA991ZZ. There is nobody called that, people. As I said before earlier, it's a fictitious title, a fictitious name. That has no right of mind to contract. And these men and women that represent this corporation enforcing their policies, rules, regulations on the man or woman is committing fraud at the highest level. Extortion and theft, right? It's terrible. Right? You heard it in the phone calls as well. They don't get involved in the ownership of that car or vehicle, as they call it. They cannot, because nobody's going to come forward and make the claim. Technically, that guy that day that was trying to take Mark Vauxhall Corsa, SD55XBC, was attempting to commit theft and extortion. The point I want to make here as well, people, for all you people that lose your cars and have been uplifted and you've paid your penalties and your fines to get them out of the compound, most of these cars go to DVLA car auction and they're sold without keys and without documentation. What actually happens down there in DVLA, they're complicit in a fraud against the people, right? Because they're allowing cars, property to be stolen and sold, right? if there's no keys and people are bidding for these cars, right, that's been lifted, they send away to a company to come and cut the keys for the cars, and they also apply for new registration documents. That's theft, people, and fraud. I know it's hard to believe, but that is exactly what's happening. If you go to Google and do a search, Black V Carmichael 1992, also, I've tried to find the full case. To get the full case, it only gives you so much. It's as if they're trying to hide it. There's also another site called wheelclamp.com, and it tells you about the Carmichael case, theft and extortion. And it tells you that only two things can be done here. Council for enforced penalties for fines it's owed, or the police or the court service. The court service is at fraud as well, because they're clamping. If they clamp your car, the court services come in fraud because there's no contract with them. The Glasgow Sheriff Court is a private corporation, and this is the point people have to get. Everything in this system has been incorporated, it's been stolen off the people. And when you register anything, it doesn't matter, it need to be a car, a motorbike, anything, you lose your right to that, right? And that's a fact, because they change the status from the lawful system to the legal system and draw you in as a person, a citizen, or a fiction that doesn't exist. When you register that, people, fraud with the documentation is being committed against you at the highest level. And the reason they're getting away with it is only because there's a certain amount of people like myself that's out there fighting the system. If you had the whole of Scotland to stand up and be counted with Anti-Corruption Scotland and take on this system, change would happen. They couldn't get away with it anymore, right? It's the same as the sheriff officers when they're going for parking fines. They're committing fraud. Walker, Love, Scott and Co. Stirling, part of private corporations, they're using fictitious offices like parking, Glasgow City Parking, Glasgow City Council. They're committing fraud at the highest level as well, people. These people have to really understand what I'm telling you here. I try to break it down as simple as I can, but sometimes people just don't get the context of what I'm saying. Hopefully in this video, this summary of what I've just did and explained, you'll get it now. This is the final part of this DVLA sequel, right? Again, you cannot accept a family name or any other name. It has to be the all capital name, black ink and square boxes, because four corner rule, anything in a box doesn't exist. And as I keep telling the people, you're dead to this system. They don't recognise you, they don't see you, and they don't hear you if you say that you're a man or verify you're a man. And that's a fact, right? It's the same as the courts. The courts are all complicit in this fraud as well. They're not even courts, they're administrative hearings. And the people on the benches, as they call benches, is bankers, fraudsters, scammers and thieves and liars. And that's a fact. Anyway, people, I hope you enjoy this information. I kind of lose my bearings a wee bit there. I've been doing things in the back pedal, dealing with other issues. So I'm going to get back on track now. I'm going to get back on the street as well. I'm ordering some banners. I'm just waiting for them to be ready before I go on the street. And information on it. If this information on these banners doesn't wake the people up, there's something wrong with their heads. Because one of the banners is going to expose the fraud to the highest level. How this works. Rules, parking, breaking a parking, getting a ticket for sitting on a double yellow line or whatever is a rule. It's not a law. And to be clear on that, corpus delicti, there has to be a victim. If there is no victim, there is no crime. You cannot have a victimless crime, and that's a fact. Right? They're getting away with blue murder, people. They're getting away with actual murder, with people taking no well, people not getting hospital treatment and doctor treatment, but people's going to have to wake up at one point and get rid of this control. They can't control a man or a woman, but they can hold you to ransom with the paperwork that you fill in and hold you as a person, a citizen. And that's a fact, a corporation. That's what you are, a corporation, people. And one thing I want to point out one more time, and hopefully people this time will listen and pay attention. If you go onto Scotland People's website, you can apply, right, for an extract of a birth certificate. And when you apply for that, you get a receipt. And on the receipt, it tells you have an entity ID number, and it gives you a long number. And it tells you and shows you the all capital name. But when you get the extract to the certificate, it's properly, for this website, embossed with a proper seal, right? And the format of the certificate is clear. Even though it's in boxes, it's clear, right? On the one I've got, it says Robert, capital R, lowercase, the rest of the name. Capital S for Sproul, lowercase for the rest of the name. 2 formats. They've committed criminal conversion of the name and identity theft, people. That's why when you get your passport, your driving licence, council tax and anything else, you've got to fill it in the all capital name, black ink in boxes, because that's the only way they can control the people and get joined up. Even when the police are taking your details and they say, do you understand the charge? You say you don't understand the charge. When they take your name, if you look at what they're writing, they put it in the all capital name. These people in this system are very clever. They know what they're doing. So don't think that they don't. They're all trained in a specific way. Train liars, and that's a train scammers and train thieves. ABC rule, people. Accept nothing from people in a legal system, legal society. They're all paid liars. Believe nothing from people that represents a legal system, legal society. They're all paid liars and challenge everything. And one more point I want to make. A lot of people are contacting me with people getting letters. There's one guy who's given me a letter that's 2 years old. It's already been to court and dealt with, right? I'm going to try and assist him in this matter, but it's going to be a hard one to challenge. When you start getting things in for parking tickets and stuff, people say just ignore it. You need to challenge it. You're required to challenge it. Ask them for the contract, the obligation. Who's making the claim, right? When you get your parking ticket notice saying that you've got £60 fines, if you read the document, there's no signature on it. It just says at the top left-hand corner, Glasgow City Council. There is no man or woman called Glasgow City Council, right? It's all fraud, people. Please pay attention to what I tell you. I'm one of the most awake guys in Scotland. I'm not giving you misinformation, and I won't tell you any lies. And I verify and will verify anything under a charge of perjury if required in any court jurisdiction in the lands of Scotland, England, Ireland or Wales, even the Supreme Court, the Court of Session or beyond. Anyway, people, I hope you enjoy this information. Please pay attention to what I'm saying in the video. It's 100%. The DVLA, the entity corporation known as DVLA, is running a massive scam and they're taking millions, billions after people unlawfully. Time for you people to stand up, educate yourself, research and fight back. Anyway, people, you have a lovely night. Take care, be safe. And there'll be more videos coming very shortly. And thank you for watching. Please share this video far and wide. The groups, your friends, your family, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters. Make sure this information gets out there, people, because this information is the same information that affects everybody that owns a car, a van, a camper, a motorbike. Everybody has to get this information. And again, I verify this even under a charge of perjury if required. Okay, people? You people take care. Be safe. Thanks for watching and thanks for giving me time to be heard. It's appreciated. I'm doing this for the right reason. Good heart, good intention. Anyway, people, I'll leave it there. Take care, be safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.